Scruffy Audio Network.
Ready to roll?
Sure, yeah.
Ready to roll.
Ready to
Okay.
rock.
Gotta shut the door. Slam it. Slam it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay, we're ready to roll. What?
It's snowing in here. What's going on?
That's probably some dust. When he slammed the door, some dust fell out. Some ceiling particles fell on you. It's right. Oh, it's in your hair and in your water.
That's just dandruff. That's
Yeah.
just. I haven't taken a shower this week.
Okay, we're ready to roll?
Nobody sees this
Are
here.
we ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
Okay, welcome to Why Would You Go There? Just a podcast about a couple of idiots talking about places that they've been. I'm here with I was going to say friend, not friend. I mean, I've used that joke before, but it's
Frenemy?
really, yeah, it's really kind of true.
Yeah.
I'm Troy, and I'm here with, introduce yourself.
My name is Lee. I'm Troy's
Oh, yeah,
best
great.
friend.
Moving on. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Vegas, which,
Viva
yeah, I
Las
just
Vegas.
found out recently that that's your favorite city.
It is. Favorite's a U.S. city, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's my favorite city.
Okay, why is that your favorite city?
You know, I don't know. It's weird because I feel like in Vegas you're almost like a completely different person. You know.
Yes, you are. I
I
think they have an expression. What happens there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
What
What
happens
happens in
there?
Vegas
What happens there? That's it.
stays in
Weird.
Vegas. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a different place. It's so unique. It's so different than anything else. And I feel like it's just one of the places that I kind of relax. And I've been there so many times that I've done most of the stuff that I want to do there that I do just get to relax a little bit. And maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. Again, we'll kind of get into this a little bit.
It's
but
an oasis in the desert.
it is.
Love
It
that.
is. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about showing up at Vegas. I've been to Vegas a couple times, and I have flown in during the day, and I've flown in at night. And the only reason I want to talk about that is how spectacular it is to fly into Vegas.
Hold on. Make sure. Plug it.
Hold on, make sure.
Yeah. I think we're good. We're good.
How spectacular you were.
How spectacular it is to fly into Vegas at night,
It is.
because there's nothing. You're in the middle of a desert. There is nothing out there,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you start to see this little speck, and they kind of, the plane barrels around, and all of a sudden, boom! There's just a million lights in the
Yeah.
middle of the desert.
The skyline is incredible. You see a few houses here and there, and then yeah, you're right. All of a sudden, it's just so beautiful. It's almost like nothing you've ever seen, just because again, yeah,
It
you're
is like
right in the
nothing
middle of
you've ever seen, because it's just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Every other place you fly into at night, there's always town leading up to it, and you can see it. There's no town. It's just Vegas is just
Area
there.
51.
Yeah, it's just there. It's just Vegas.
It is. All right.
So I guess we really can't talk about Vegas much without starting off with talking about the hotels on the Strip.
So I'm kind of a hotel expert out there.
I'm
I
sure you are.
really tried to figure out how many hotels I've been to, and this is just the ones on the Strip. I've been to the Venetian, the Bellagio.
Now, when you say been to, have you stayed at
I
each one
have
of these?
stayed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not talking about been to. Come on, everybody goes to different.
Okay. So you've stayed
hotels.
at.
I have stayed at the Venetian, the Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, the MGM Grand, the Wynn, Caesar's Palace, Luxor, the Mirage, Planet Hollywood, Bally's, and Excalibur, and then a few more off
You're
the
getting into the
Strip.
good ones now.
You could tell the list kind of trailed off a little bit there towards the end. Those were the early days, just trying to find somewhere to stay. But, it's crazy because all those hotels are just so different. They're all kind of their own little world. And like I said, I think that's what I like about it the most is you can stay at, say, the Venetian, and it's supposed to be emulating Venice. And it's like you're in
Venetian. Venetian.
Venice.
Yeah, Venetian. Yeah.
No, Venice.
Yeah.
So it's it's almost like you're in Venice itself, and it's got little canal rides.
It's nothing like you're in Venice.
You're such an idiot.
It's a hotel. It's a really cool hotel with a mall in it and a river that you do the little.
Oh, it's got a
gondola
river.
ride.
Wow, that's like a hotel. That's normal, right? No, it's like you're in a whole different city.
Okay, I'll give you that. It is.
Okay. And then the
They're like each hotel is kind of like a city itself.
Yeah. Luxor is like you're in Egypt. So you go to these places and they're just almost islands by themselves, these casinos, even though, of course.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So you just feel like you're in a completely different place. And I always like that. And that's why I've stayed at so many different ones, just because I want to get a different aspect, stay at different places, see which one I like the most. And what's great about it is it's ever changing. I mean, gosh, every time I go there, there's a new hotel. So it's
and probably an old hotel that's gone in a lot of cases.
Yeah, they've torn down quite a few of those, some of the staples too. But
every time I've been there, which is two times I've been there, but every time sounds a lot better.
I probably should have tried to count this, but I would venture to say that I've been there probably close to 10 different times. And like the first 2 or 3
Well, you just listed like 15 hotels.
Well,
so
that's what I'm saying.
Were you staying?
If you would have let me finish
staying at a hotel for 2 days and then moving to a different hotel?
Yeah, if you let me finish my sentence, like the first 2 times, I thought, I may not come back here again. So I'm going to try to stay at different places just to get the different atmosphere. And so I'd stay there for 4 nights and maybe stay at one place a night or 2 and then move to another place. And same thing.
That's interesting and weird.
Why is that weird?
It's moving around hotels. I don't.
Well,
that seems like it's the opposite of relaxing. Of course, you're not going to relax when you're in Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to move all the time.
But like I said, they all have their own different things, and they're all great in their own reasons. So why not try to experience them?
So where's your favorite place to gamble? When you're Vegas, if you're going to Vegas, you're going to be gambling,
Well,
and both of us like to gamble.
Yeah, we do. We do. So because I'm not a high roller and I don't want to gamble a ton, or at least I enjoy gambling, I try to go to the places that are a little bit cheaper first, so that way I can feel a little bit more comfortable with the amount of money that I'm losing. But where the bets are a little bit smaller, they don't have the required
$5 tables.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me wrong, I'll still gamble at the other hotels that I stay at that are super nice, or even a different hotel, but it makes me feel a little bit better when I'm losing $5 a hand instead of $15 or $25 a hand. But I don't know that I have a specific one that I like gambling at the most. I will tell you, some of the nicer ones, like the Bellagio or the Venetian or the Wynn. Yeah, the Cosmopolitan. Those are all very nice. Where have you stayed when you went out there?
I've stayed at the Cosmopolitan, and we've stayed at the Venetian.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Both really nice hotels. And I stayed at the Cosmopolitan and gambled at Caesars.
Oh.
Because Caesars was a little cheaper.
Yeah. There's some of that.
Caesars, you could tell, that whole strip is, there's some hotels like Cosmopolitan, the Bellagio, Venice, where they're all beautiful and new.
You mean Venetian?
The Venetian, where they're all beautiful.
When you mocked me because I said Venetian earlier is like Venice.
Yeah, exactly. The Venice. They're brand new. And you can see some of the places like Caesars a little older, but I like it, even though you can tell it's starting to wear a little bit. But in its heyday, it's like, okay, everybody was here in its heyday. You could tell this was beautiful at one point. It's just a little worn now.
You love that old stuff, right? I mean, you love the old Rat Pack.
Yeah, I'm a big Rat Pack guy. Yeah. And
so I don't know if you were going to talk about that.
I had no intentions to, but that's okay. I love Sinatra, and that's kind of why I'm a little bit in love with Vegas. But I do like the town. The first time I went, it was I thought it was a little too much for me, and I thought I may never go back there again. But then,
what do you mean too much? What would you not like about it?
It's just 24/7.
That's true,
all the time.
Well, you don't have to be.
The last time I was there, I got up at like.
Wasn't I supposed to go with you all the last time?
Yeah, you were, but you ditched us. That's fine. I got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go get some breakfast. And because I wake up early. So I go to bed late and wake up early. And as I go down the hotel lobby, I see some guy.
Bed late, do you mean 7?
Some guy doing backflips in the lobby of the Cosmopolitan. It's 5 a.m. That's just how that town is. And I mean, he did like somersaults, like 10 of them. And they were just people cheering him. It's just, what is going on here? And it's that way everywhere that you go. It's just, it's craziness all the time. There's, no matter what time of the day it is, there's always 2 girls walking one drunk girl somewhere. There's always somebody that is toasted. There's always somebody that is in a tie with what looks like vomit on his shirt, walking around. You're going to find that.
Don't forget about the 70-year-olds in their ties and suits with their 25-year-old wife.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot of much older guys that have women on their arms that look like. You're not sure if that could be daughter or granddaughter, but it's definitely not wife.
It's not either of them.
Yeah, or either. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I love basically just going to the different casinos. I mean, like I said, they're all different. They're all have their own atmosphere, and there's
you like something a little newer. You're probably gonna not newer, but a little more modern. You're probably gonna stay at some place like the Cosmopolitan, which we stayed at last time. It's a great place.
Aria.
I'm gonna talk a little bit later about some restaurants there. Aria is right beside it. That's a kind of a little more modern. More traditional is probably the Bellagio.
Yeah. Caesars,
Venetian,
Mandalay Bay. So
Bellagio is beautiful inside too.
They
have that big courtyard.
Yeah.
That is just flower sculptures.
What they call it an arboretum or something? Or
that sounds about right.
I totally just made that up, so I'm glad you went with it there.
Yeah,
but it's a beautiful, beautiful casino, very big. I mean, they're all so luxurious. But I don't.
Hey, let's talk about Old Vegas.
Not as luxurious. Yes.
Fremont Street, right?
Yes.
I went there this last time I was there on the recommendation of somebody in this room, and wow, if you like white trash, you're going to go to Fremont Street.
Yes.
And apparently you did.
I do. Who doesn't like white trash?
Yeah, it was the worst Vegas. First of all, everything's, there's a lot of stuff outside. So you're going to walk outside and it's 175 degrees.
That's in all of Vegas.
The reason people stay in these casinos all the time is because when you open that door, it's like an oven.
So let me tell you about one of my pet peeves, by the way. So when somebody says it's a dry heat just because it's out west, when it's 100 degrees, it doesn't matter if it's a dry heat. 100 degrees is 100 degrees.
Yeah, that's why.
Sorry, that's always.
Anytime anybody says that, I say, yes, so's an oven. Why don't you get in one?
It's always it has always been
it's
struck a nerve with
hot.
me.
Yeah, it's hot.
But anyway, you're talking about downtown Old Vegas. They call the street that you mentioned, the Fremont Street, they call it the Fremont Street Experience, and it's got this light show. It kind of covers several different casinos, and it even has like a zip line that goes down through it, so it's pretty cool. But I can understand what you're saying, how it's a little bit white trashy, but to me it was
just dirty.
Yeah, it is. It's very dirty, but to me it's still part of the experience, and I think you have to go. And,
we picked up an Uber at the Cosmopolitan, and it was around dinner time, and we asked the Uber drivers, we were going to Fremont Street, where we should eat on Fremont Street. And he said, "Oh, you guys came from the Cosmopolitan.
Yes.
You're not going to want to eat any place over there." And when I got over there, I saw why.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to eat. There was one restaurant that we walked into. I can't remember what it was. I thought, okay, we might. No. As soon as I got in, I was like, no, this is basically Cracker Barrel at Vegas prices. I'm not eating here.
But, the Golden Nugget is downtown. It's pretty nice. There's some...
That was it. That was the one. That was the Golden Nugget.
Yeah. Well, it's
terrible.
No, it's a nice hotel. But, yeah, most of them are older. And, you're going to get what you pay for. If you're paying for $100 at downtown, or sorry, on the Strip, then you're probably going to pay $20 or $30 a night in old downtown. But it's still, again, it's still something different. It's still neat to see. I still think it's a part of Vegas. And for those people that kind of appreciate Vegas for what it is, it's neat to see what it used to be and what it is now, because the Strip is just totally different. When I say the Strip, I mean, that's where all the new hotels are.
Yeah.
And they're right beside each other. So it's great because you can kind of walk,
Oh yeah, you're just going big hotel to big hotel down the Strip. Yeah,
yeah.
My wife was in a conference last time I was there during the day, and I just spent all day walking into each hotel and looking around and just getting lost in it. There's lots to see.
Yeah, they're all different. But I would still recommend going down to to Fremont Street, to the old downtown, or to downtown, I guess. And still kind of seeing it, but just make sure that your taxi or your Uber or whatever you take down there is just, sitting there for about 10 or 15 minutes, because you may
that's
be done
all.
with
Yeah,
it.
that's all you. That's all you're gonna want.
But I still like it. It again, it's a good place to gamble cheap. That's for sure. If you like cheap gambling, that's one place to go.
So, other than hotels on the Strip and gambling, what are some other things that you can do in and around Vegas?
So let me tell you, for those of you that have kids,
Yeah, tell me.
The pools in Vegas are almost like none other. Like we mentioned, it gets very hot out there, so you can go for 6, 7, 8 months out of the year and still enjoy the pools. And it gets crazy hot in the summers, so you might want to avoid that. But like, for instance, the Mandalay Bay, it has a lazy river that you can just ride around the little lazy river,
Like a water park.
Yeah. It's kind of have its own little water park. It's got a wave pool. There's some hotels that have their own beach, like their own sand, and those are very, very big gravitations for people with children, or even people that just
Very
like
big
to just,
gravitations.
very-
Can you look, Paul? Can you look that up? Gravitations.
very big pools, very big.
Did you say poles?
Pools?
Poles.
Pulls.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you sure?
Go
You
ahead.
Sure, I can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, these pull people.
Draw.
People. These pulls draw people. This is why this guy is the producer. Draw. What a great word. It would have taken me at least 10 more minutes to think of that.
I am 100% sure of that.
But anyway, they're great draws for people.
Or
And-
pools, either.
Gosh. Edit. Where's the edit button on this thing? But
Ed button on you.
it's a mute button on you.
I
So
wish your mom
anyway,
had a mute button.
all right, just go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about, Frank. You just want to talk about whatever you want to talk. You just want to hear yourself talk.
You were going to talk about stuff to do
I
other
was,
than
but
gambling.
forget it
You've gone
now.
on about these damn pools for 10 minutes
The
now.
pools are a big part of Vegas. They're awesome.
The pools are a pool.
The pools are a pool.
Yeah. What
What
just
else?
go ahead. No, just forget it. Go ahead. Move on to your next subject. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we're talking about things other than gambling that you can do in and around Vegas.
Pools.
And besides effing pools.
What about shows? You want to talk about shows?
Oh, yeah. You talk about some
Okay,
shows.
so shows. Cirque du Soleil shows. I've been to probably 4 or 5 of these. at the Bellagio is a great, great show. It actually involves water. So, water,
Pools.
pool.
Yeah.
It's a good
It's a
draw.
draw.
Get it? Yeah. See, that was a perfect play in right there. It was, anyway. They've got so many other different shows besides the Cirque du Soleil stuff. They've got
Cirque du Soleil is great.
yeah,
And
you
the
have-
nice thing, I've been there a couple times. The nice thing about
we know you've been to Vegas a couple times.
well,
You've
we
already
know
said
you've
that
been there like
twice.
15 times. I've been to Cirque du Soleil shows multiple times, and in Vegas they're the best because they're permanently set up. It's not like a traveling show, so they can do all kinds of more crazy acrobatic stuff. But go on. You got something else you want to talk about? You're looking up.
Let me talk about some of these other shows that I've been to.
Okay,
I've been
good.
to Mystere at Treasure Island and Ka and Le Rev.
I think I've been to Ka also.
Yeah, did you like Ka?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's one I went.
It's
to.
kind of like a battle scene, right? Yeah, so that was pretty cool. They're all pretty cool actually. But they're all at different hotels. There's
Yeah, so if you're going to Vegas, I think you have to take at least one night to see some kind of show because Vegas is famous for
yeah.
the shows that they have.
So even if you don't like the Cirque du Soleil, which I don't see how you couldn't like that because it's
Well, people have different tastes.
very
Not everybody
unique.
thinks
Yeah,
like you.
agree.
And it can be very unique. It's either unique or not, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
But magic shows, there's some of those like
Oh, yeah.
magicians and
Who usually do the magic shows? Yeah.
comedians, which this guy is obviously a comedian. You could go watch a comedy
Easy
show.
Penn and Teller there.
Yeah,
David Copperfield, that guy's probably still.
that's a
performing there.
magician.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
I already
was-
went over that.
I was giving you some magicians, not musicians, magicians.
Oh,
But you got
man.
the whole point is there are hundreds of shows to see in Vegas. You gotta make time.
There's something for everybody in regards to shows.
I would think so. What else can you do around there?
So you're still talking about downtown or on the
Anywhere,
strip or
anywhere
whatever.
around.
So let me tell you about a place that's kind of outside of the city a little bit. Red Rock Canyon. I think it's a national park, but it's a park, and it's exactly what it says it is. It's
a park.
It's it's rocks.
Hey,
red rocks. It's
number one on TripAdvisor.
Yeah,
number one on TripAdvisor.
Yeah, well, that's because it's a great thing to do.
It's a national conservation area.
Is that the same
sounds
thing
like
as
a
national park?
Yeah, sounds like a park.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. So national park, and I think it's like a 13-mile drive. It's a scenic drive. You can kind of take your time and
look at the scenery.
Yes, you can. You can get out and hike. You can walk, but it is beautiful. It's very unique because it's just red rocks. It's different kind of formations, but it's very, very different than most national parks that I guess what you would think of. But it's probably about 30 minutes from the strip.
Oh yeah, Paul's pulled some pictures up, and it's almost like it looks like Grand Canyon or what's that place that we went to up in South Dakota?
Oh, the Badlands.
Yeah, it looks like the Badlands.
Yeah. So it's interesting because it's still very unique and very different, than what your typical parks would be, just because it is just essentially rock. But you can climb on the rocks. There's different areas you can do that, but you can probably take a half-day trip to do that.
You know what else you can do
if you get tired of partying in Vegas?
Hoover Dam.
Yeah,
so that's a half day. Also, my wife and I went and did a Hoover Dam tour, and that is.
You did a dam tour.
Yeah, we did a dam tour. If you really have no idea how impressive that dam is until you get there. It's a monument to ingenuity. It's really, really kind of cool. We enjoyed walking. You can go walk through the dam, and by through it I mean inside the dam. You can see where the power generators are, and there's what a dam would be. There's a lake on one side, and you look off the other side, and it's just whoa. That is way you fall over here, you're gone. So that's
been a shame.
Something cool you can do. They've have TripAdvisor, Viator have all kinds of.
Did you meet the dam tour guide?
I did meet the damn tour guide. That's a good one. But there's all kinds of helicopter rides that you can do around there. The trip to the Grand Canyon, that's really more of a full day.
Yeah,
because you gotta kind of go out to see that. But
use the damn bathroom.
we did use the damn bathroom. We bought some damn water. Bought some damn trinkets. Brought them home with us. It all worked out well.
Let me tell you about the Hoover Dam. So when I was there, I didn't actually do a tour, but you can see the drop of the water line, and it was just so drastic in the summer. It was crazy how low it was. But you could see it on the walls that kind of lined the lake river, I guess, itself, and it was something to see.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's worth the trip.
So if you kind of talked about the Grand Canyon too for a second, but the Grand Canyon is past the Hoover Dam, so Hoover Dam's probably 45 minutes or so, maybe a little less from
That's
Vegas.
Probably about right.
The Grand Canyon is something like you'll never see before, but it's about
grand.
It's grand. Yeah, it is grand, and it's a canyon. But it's about 4.5 hour drive, 4.5 hours probably. And once you do it, you can do like the south rim and then come out on the east side of it. And it's going to be probably about an 8-hour drive back. So you're probably going to need more than a day to do that. But while you're out there, why not see the Grand Canyon? One of the greatest landscapes, I think, in the U.S., or maybe even in the world.
Probably in the world, yeah.
But you haven't done it, right?
I have not done it. We've just seen the Hoover Dam, which was magnificent in itself.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about food. There are tons of celebrity chefs with restaurants in Vegas. Emeril Lagasse, Bobby Flay, Giada De Laurentiis,
Guy Fieri.
Guy. Is he really a celebrity?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay.
He has his own show.
What?
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, yes.
And Guy Fieri.
I was making fun of Guy.
He
not
has
Gordon.
his own show.
I know. But is he really a celebrity? Really? Anyway, tons of restaurants. The first time my wife and I were there, we ate at B&B Restaurante, which is Mario Batali's restaurant, and the food there.
I thought you said restaurante.
That's well, it's Mario Batali's Restaurante.
Okay. Okay.
The food there rivals, I think, any city in the world.
It does.
They're all great caliber chefs, and you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
As everybody says, bring your wallet. It is going to be expensive, but well worth it. What restaurants do you want to talk about?
So I don't know that I have anything specific as far as restaurants, but it's interesting because you go into any of those hotels that we've talked about, and they all have their own restaurants, and they all have their own famous chef that has a restaurant there. So you're not really going to go wrong with any of them. But I will tell you one that I ate at the Bellagio called Le Turc.
Is it French?
Yeah, it is actually, and it actually has its famous restaurant is in New York City actually, but it was a French restaurant. It's very good. We definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a similar experience. We ate at Chris Santos' restaurant, Beauty and Essex in the Cosmopolitan. We ate at two really great restaurants in the Cosmopolitan. The Beauty and Essex is kind of cool because the front of it is a pawn shop. So you walk into what looks like an old school pawn shop, and all they tell you they've got these beautiful ladies behind the counter say everything in here is for sale. And I said, nothing in here can I afford. But there's this random door.
Nice voice too.
Yeah, well, that was my lady imitation. Nice door this random door at the back that they just usher you through, and then it busts out into this beautiful restaurant. It's just kind of funny that they have this kind of facade of this pawn shop, and it looks like kind of run down and everything right there in the Cosmopolitan. And they have a beautiful restaurant. The food was great. And if you're going to stay at even if you're going to stay anywhere around the Cosmopolitan, one place that I think that you really should try is Rose Rabbit Lie. That is the first time that I had steak tartare was there. My wife and I went, and it's kind of set up as two different bars. You're going to need reservations because it is going to be busy.
You're going to need reservations at most of those places.
Yeah, I agree with that. But one of the places was kind of an old school, a traditional looking, maybe like a library. They had bookshelves on the wall, and they had old vinyl records that you could just walk up and pick the vinyl record. They let you, you're up next. Whoever's at the bar, you're up next. You go pick a record. They had all kinds of records. You put a vinyl on and play. And then we just sat there and we actually stayed in the bar, which is one of the restaurants, and had dinner there. And then I walked into the other bar, and it's kind of like a jazz club. So I would recommend either one of those places. But there's, like you said earlier, you cannot go wrong with food in Vegas. They even have Chick-fil-A. I mean, they've got anything you want, but don't be like those Fremont Street guys and just go eat Burger King or McDonald's or whatever.
Speaking of, let me bring up a fast food restaurant. So if you have a car, if you drive to Red Rock Canyon or the Hoover Dam, or even if you get tired of spending lots of money on a nice lunch or dinner, In-N-Out Burger.
Oh yeah.
It's
one place you need to try.
Yeah. So
I Ubered there. I didn't have a car. my wife was in the conference. I said, I'm going to Uber to In-N-Out. Yeah, it's great.
So I think they're actually going to have one on the Strip, but there's several right off the Strip. But if you've never been there, it's very it is what it is. It's a burger, French fries. You can get a milkshake. That's about it. It's very basic. The chain is famous in California, but I would definitely recommend going there. It's very fresh, very good.
Yeah, it's just something different than McDonald's.
It is. Yeah, it is. Good. It is. It's better than McDonald's. Don't compare.
It is definitely better than McDonald's. Well, I think we've just about wrapped
No, I'm not
up
done.
Vegas.
I got one more thing.
Well, let's move on. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, so one last thing that I kind of want to talk about is on top of the Stratosphere, there are different rides. So for you young folks who enjoy kind of thrill riding.
Again, are you 78?
Dropped your teeth.
You dropped your teeth.
For you young folks like me, I mean, obviously. I was just trying to be polite to you. But anyway, there are 3 different rides on top of the Stratosphere, and the Stratosphere is it's a tall tower. It's a hotel, but it's maybe 1,000 feet tall. But it's got 3 different rides that you can ride on top of that. One of them's called the Big Shot, where it shoots you just right up in the air.
I would like to shoot you just right up in the air.
I'd just like to shoot you, period. Anyway, probably the most terrifying ride that I have ever been on, but it was exhilarating. It was very fun.
And terrifying.
It was very terrifying, but it's exhilarating. So we're kind of watching a clip of it now. Oh, the sky jump. Yeah, that's right. That's new. So you can do that too. You can jump off the building, which is
I wish you would do that right now.
Terrifying.
We're on the 9th floor.
Yeah,
You can jump off this building.
Okay. So that's kind of the last thing that I wanted to talk about, but Vegas is a great city. It's not like any other city that you're going to go to, just because, again, there's so many.
Are you doing your final thoughts?
Yeah, I am.
Did I say? I didn't say final thoughts yet.
Okay.
So I think we just about wrapped up Vegas. Lee, what are your final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Yeah. In summary, my final thoughts are: you're an idiot, and Vegas is great. Everybody needs to go to Vegas once. Even if you're not a partier, there's still plenty of things you can do there. There's still shows, restaurants. It can appeal to anything you do. I'm not much of a partier by any means, but it's still a great, great place to visit.
And gamble.
Yeah. What is your game of choice, by the way? We didn't even talk about this.
Craps.
Craps. Okay.
I like craps and roulette. So.
Yeah. Right there with you.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have an in summary as well?
In summary, I do not have an in summary. I think Vegas is a great town. I think it's a great place to go and spend 5 days. I don't know that I'd want to spend any longer than that. 4. I was there the last time for 7 days, and it was just too much. I think by 5 days I was done.
If you're there for 7 days, you need to take a trip to the Grand Canyon to knock out 2 of those days.
Yeah. So
what would you rate it on your U.S. city scale? You think would it be top 5 or no?
No, I don't think so. We've got some other cities we're going to talk about.
Whatever. You're an
Boston's
idiot anyway.
obviously number 1. I don't think Vegas would be in the top 5. I mean, it's interesting, but it would be in the top 10, but I don't think it'd be in the top 5. Yeah. Anyway, well, we've just about wrapped it up.
Another great segment. I dominated.
Another great podcast. You did dominate. Well, before we get out of here, I'm going to leave you with our final thought, which is it is better to go someplace you hate than to not go anyplace at all. So keep traveling. Thanks.
Out.
And out. Okay, so you're just gonna have to
work on my ending.
Work on your ending and not
my
going back and
my
forth.
Middle.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think you've nailed it now. That's what you need to work on. You're not going back and forth with everything. And this is what we're talking about. Oh yeah, no, I want to go back
with
and
your
talk.
mom.
I want to talk about this. I want to go back and talk this. In summary.
The in summary is my thing. That's what I do.
We should have talked about this before we started this. That's not the thing that we want you to have. Yeah. That's like, yeah, boy.
In summary, pulls you in. Get it? Pulls.
No, oh God. No. I'm done.